against Boomboy and Dreamer Cell. Jonathan, what are we keeping an eye out for this top lane?
Not much. I mean, you can try to get aggressive early on. Dream Assault's already getting some damage in. Shadowward is pretty big damage, huh? Xiaoyu has to be a bit cautious. Down the line, this evolves into a more defensive lane for NGX. You've got Time Walk, you've got Shadowward as healing. The Void can farm up, and as long as you prevent the angles being found by Xiaoyu and Xiaobonbon to play with the double stuns, this should be a pretty simplistic lane for Dream Assault. You know, he should farm up, hit his Maelstrom timing or Mask of Madness depending on what he wants, and just kind of sit in the jungle. So all you really need is for Boomboy to get a little bit of zoning out, and you kind of feel good in this lane.
Let's have a look at the other lanes as well. I mean, you're going to have mid lane, of course, with the Bat Rider versus Ember Spirit. Now, you and I always like to joke around in this kind of matchup for Alacrity because we've seen him lose the Bat Rider mid so many times. And John, even with the Ember, like, Flame Guard's going to do a lot of work, as you're seeing right now. It is still a rather painful experience here for Alacrity, as XC Learn already going to get through the Flame Guard and just force him back. I suppose for Alacrity, as long as he survives the mid matchup, he should be happy.
Yeah, as long as he holds on, starts to hit that level 2 Sleight of Fist, level 2 Flame Guard, you can kind of hold the lane down.
Already going down. Very hard against the TB Oracle as well, right? Because you're going to have the Fortune's End into the meta of MKS, and it's a long route. So you get stuck in that as the Mars, and MKS, he's going to have his way with you.
Yeah, I mean, you have great magic damage in this lane for NGX's end. It's a Zeus support, but in Mars, you can play around the spear down the line, but it's hard to get that angle. Roger just sits in the tree line, spams Fortune's End, enables MKS to keep that farm game up. And you could maybe try for the spear again, but it's not easy. And you just see Jokam kind of being held off by the Oracle anyway. So you just get the farm, you can get aggressive once Metamorphosis is up, and in that interim period, it just doesn't feel like it's easy for NGX to work the Zeus. Like, he is pretty annoying if he manages to spam that Lightning Bolt. It just doesn't feel like you get that opportunity to do so.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes we see the Arc Lightning being maxed out instead of the Lightning Bolt for this kind of reason. What Dokkan does do is mid lane, the Ember gonna end up dropping, and it's kind of what we just talked about, John. Alacrity, he's gonna have a rough time in this matchup, even with the Flame Guard up, and XC Learn, he knows how to play this Bat Rider very well. Alacrity already off to a pretty terrible start here against the Bat.
And we talked about that momentum from NGX. It does feel like they want the Ember and Morrison in good position up top, though, getting aggressive.
Absolutely, we'll see what they can get done here as they Boomboy getting rather low himself, but RSG, they do back their way out. Here are the fatal bombs, as at least Xiaobonbon might find the courier, but actually misses out. Yeah, the old Hoodwink attack animation just taking a bit too long, and NGX, they're going to be fine at the top lane for now. Props to them as well. Dreamer Cell, he's having a very good time farming on the Void at the moment, so at least that's a bit of a saving grace right now for NGXC.
Yeah, he's having a much better time right now than MKS is, and there is a little bit of pressure starting to come through. The spear does connect onto Roger here.
Yeah, nice pick up there from Mizu. Jokam actually the one to take it on the Zeus, but something you desperately kind of need here down in the bot lane, and just leave MKS a little bit more vulnerable on the Terror Blade. But not so much, I assume, as he should be just fine to keep that farm going. Props to Mizu, though, like, considering he did drop a life here against MKS, he actually has slowed down the farm of the TB quite a bit.
He's managed to at least work that aggression, knowing that when Metamorphosis is down, you can threaten with a spear, you can threaten with a God's Rebuke, and still have a lot of presence there. Still needs to build that momentum, though. I feel like all the other lanes for NGX are still a bit topsy-turvy.
Alacrity. Yeah, but this is the most topsy-turvy lane here, John. XC Learn gonna find another kill on the Bat Rider as he sees Jokam on the Zeus, I believe. Be able to get there in time. In fact, never mind. He'll go chase him again. Only for a second, though, as Jokam eventually going to back off to the high ground, and XC Learn, I think he's more than happy with the way this mid lane's going, so it just doesn't need to overextend for a support Zeus.
He's going to hit some real fast timings here, Mike, on Bat Rider. Going for that quick travels along with a casual windlace just for some move speed. He's going to be able to run down, look for those angles and the ganks very quickly. And again, you don't have a counter to that lasso here from the side of NGX. You could maybe consider, I don't know, I guess Chrono and Arena is sort of soft counters, but it doesn't feel amazing just to suppress the Bat from taking someone away. And you already see Alacrity trying to play the small camp, but he can't even take control there. Excellent just walks in, clears that up himself. The farm for the Ember is starting to get a bit starved out, and it does feel like the game's starting to get to that point where you expect Mizu with a stronger start, maybe just rush that blink and get some aggression out from there. And going back to Mizu a bit here, Mike, he has gone for the triple bracer. We've seen him do this multiple times in his offlane. I think his Night Stalker is the most notable, where he goes like 5 bracers and just tries to be durable. Namara is certainly going to have a lot of impact with this. We'll see if it does affect his blink timing. You still want that initiation tool on NGX. You don't want to rely too much on that chrono throughout the game, at least early on.
Oh, absolutely not. So Mizu, he's going a little bit greedy with the bracer build, but we'll see how long it does take him to get the blink up. Is now top lane, Xiao Yu. He's going to be okay. They have the Fatal Bonds out, but looks like he is just going to back his way out of the Marcy. Instead, mid lane's probably the one to watch, as we are going to see an Arcane Rune being picked up here by Exilon and the Batrider. Bon already looking around for a nice bushwhack onto Alacrity, but won't have the angle. Keep in mind, Exilon, he's currently level 7 to the level 5 of Alacrity. So a 2-level advantage here for the Batrider, and as long as you can lock the Ember down for a moment, that lasso will be easy to land. Though bot lane now, Mizu going a little bit deep here against MKS, and now the turnaround is out. Mizu's still going to be just fine, as MKS now the one to try and back off, though Roger is going to get caught out a little bit. Mizu does have a spear available, but doesn't throw it out quite yet. He will save it for the final bit of damage, as MKS is unable to help out without the meta. And so Mizu at least does secure a kill at the end of the day.
You are starting to see that gap in the bot and top lane for the safe laner start to grow wider. They can't have Boomboy up top, though.
He was trying to soak XP there as the stacks were being taken, but is going to feed another kill away to the Batrider. At the very least, he does delay the stacks being taken a slight bit. You are going to have to wait 10 more seconds, though. Bot lane, MKS getting caught by Mizu. Roger going to try and go for a trade, but is not within range to get the false promise off and rather purifying flames off. So Jokam is going to hold him back, and Mizu, he's fine.
That's a shining hope for NGX. They're starting to make this lane pretty unplayable for MKS after a strong start finding that kill early on. He is lagging severely behind, even in comparison to her Faceless Void. So a lot of room has to be cleared out for the Terrorblade. RSG is going to have to try to protect it for a little bit longer, but they're hitting the points here on their other lanes. You've got Exilern with a travel cell. You can just run around, again, threaten with the lasso, immediately pull someone back. It doesn't feel particularly amazing here. Ooh.
Yeah, lasso is up. Alacrity is at least level 6, so he's going to be able to remnant out, but now he's out of mana. Exilern still having a look around for the Ember. Alacrity is going to go for the Remnant TP play out for a free reset. We haven't really seen Exilern try to rotate yet whatsoever with that lasso. He's been just kind of focusing it on his own farm, but now with the BOTs up, you might want to try and get aggressive here as Exilern. Mind you, I say aggressive, John. He has 3 out of 4 kills for RSG right now, but he certainly isn't a very nice power spike to make those rotations.
They have some good aggressive wards here from the side of RSG. They spot out the stats in the top jungle. Exilern will just go pick them up, take them away from Alacrity to recover with, take them away from Dream Assault to clear out down the line, and just continue to build up that massive lead. The Batrider gonna have a really quick blink timing on top of that travels. I think that's the point where you really start to play around with that. You want to play with the mobility your Batrider has, along with Morrissey to an extent, and just slow down the side of NGX. You know, just ensure the Void doesn't get the build-up. I mean, Dreamo still up there, number 2 network, having a better time than MKS for sure, but it's not a massive lead. MKS, despite his death, is only 300, 200 gold behind. So it's fully recoverable for the TV.
Bit of trouble here on the Zeus, John. They are going to land the Fortune's End, and Exilern showed up once again. Jokam, he's going to drop to MKS this time around as Exilern TP right back into the mid lane. Again, you still have that lasso up, and Alacrity, he has to be careful. You've got a Tumbler's Tongue and Exilern. They'll start stacking up, but Remnants away once again for Alacrity. Exilern just not going to bother even trying for the lasso yet.
I don't think there's massive pressure to do so as long as you're preventing the Ember from working the lane. You feel pretty happy. Alacrity's timings are kind of stalled out. He's forced to just rush a Maelstrom, no time nor farm for the Orb Corrosion.
Xiao Yu, he got the Unleash off, and it's going to be a nice easy kill off the Boom Boy. No way for the +5 Warlock to get away from that, but Xiao Yu now maybe in a bit of trouble as Remus trying to get the damage out. Time Walk is there, and Xiao Yu, he'll rebound out as well, just in case the Chrono was set to come. There's mid lane. Exilern not going to be able to catch the Ember once again, so Alacrity playing very carefully, but now bot lane, Mizu may be in a spot of danger as the chase is on. XE Learn should easily be able to just go for a quick lasso if he wants to, but it seems like he's just going to save it in case Mizu goes for a TP attempt. And they just don't need it. This batter's so far ahead right now, they just don't even need to press the R button.
I love that Exiliran finds the one lane that needs the help. They want to enable MKS. They start to bully out Mizu, so that slower start for MKS completely rectified. Number 2 in that word. TV's managing to build up ahead of Dreamwhistle. Faces Void, doesn't catch up all too well. Dreamwhistle already has a massive madness, still needs the Maelstrom to even clear out some stacks online, if there are any left from RSG invading that top jungle, which there aren't. The top jungle hasn't been stacked up either. The triangle's not been touched. They're forced to kind of group around. They have Arena already here in Mizu.
Oh, they found MKS. It's a great target, but they've got False Promise available if Roger is within range to get it. And for now, he is not, but he will be eventually. As MKS still fighting this one out. They're trying to bait the golem out from Boombi. Now the Thunder is there. Mizu easily get caught by the bushwhack of Zhao Bon Bon. Eventually they do quit the False Promise, but MKS, he survives. He's very healthy. Maybe they find Zhao Bon Bon, but he'll go for a run with the Scurry and might just make it out. The Remnant's forward, but a nice fade hitting from Roger, blocking all the magic damage away. The chain's out, but now the Sharpshooter. They'll drop the Golem for this. Zhao Bon Bon, he's still out of there. They're gonna find Roger. It's not worth the Golem drop though.
Definitely not. They might have enough mana for a Thunder God's Wrath. Is that the play Jokam's looking for, immediately TPing home? No, not even gonna pop it. So they only get the one support kill, cost them some pretty big ults. And we talked about this from NGX's draft, Mike. They have a long cooldown on Chrono, they have a long cooldown on Golem. And when you commit one of those spells, it's an opening for RSG. They can look to run around here.
He's out of mana, John. Had MKS popped the meta, he probably would have had a kill there. Not out of mana rather, but out of remnants is what I was meant to say. But Alacrity, he will TP back.
Tower is under attack.
Still, I mean, they are trying to set up for this bottom tier 1 tower.
Is under attack.
Another big group up here from the side of NGXC. 4 heroes down the bot side. Just a question of whether RSG want to try and defend this. The God's wrapped out, they're going to scout out Zhao Bon Bon, but he's onto a run again. Mizu going to try for the speed, barely not connecting, is now the bushwhack and the sharpshooter. Zhao Bon Bon, he's just proving impossible to catch. Really abusing the mobility of the Hoodwink. So NGXC, they are at least going to find the bottom tier 1 out of this.
Tower is under attack.
And not the biggest tower to take. It's allowing an opening for RSG to play towards mid. MKS is around with a protection for Roger. Metamorphosis is up and they apply that pressure. Arena is back up for Mizu, so he could try to make a play here. They're dragging everyone into this defense.
Oh, Spear's wasted. Mizu going to use it on the illusion. They'll be back up in 7 seconds for that Spear as they are going to bring the Void in. This could be a great Chrono opportunity. Mizu, he's going to find a nice arena. MKS going to need some help right now. They have the False Promise available, but they don't have the Oracle. He's stuck in the Chrono. Instead, Lasso is out, but would not drag him out of the Chrono either. Mizu's going to be okay, it seems. XE Learn cannot trade. At least not for now, but NGXC, they're still going to be able to back off just fine. Nobody being caught out, and a very nice rotation now from the Dire team. What seems to be the first successful team fight for NGX.
Managed to make it work. Great Chrono from Dreamwhistle to catch the Oracle inside as well, preventing the save. And that's what has to happen almost every Chrono. You need to be able to catch the Oracle plus a core to even think about killing off the core. You do have the magic damage on hand. That Zeus still has the maxed out Lightning Bolt. So there's still a lot of damage that can come in. Even though your Void isn't that farmed up yet, you can play with your supports here. And RSG does get a bit punished for being out of position. They saw the TPs coming in there, Mike. That was, I think, under vision. They didn't manage to dodge out and declump themselves. I think we were seeing it. Roger tried to go for an early False Promise, walked off, doesn't have a range.
Are you not going to be able to get in range for the Dispose either? It's the Void and the Zeus is going to be just fine. The top lane, Alacrity. I'll play around here with MKS. Fortune's then going to hold him down for a moment, but he is just going to remnant back once again. And Alacrity's had a very rough laning stage, but he's doing his best to try and make some space here on the map to get that Maelstrom timing going for the Ember. And but to be fair, John, he is getting rather close to the Maelstrom now on the Ember, so not all doom and gloom here for the Ember Spirit, but it is certainly a much slower process than I'm sure Alacrity would want.
Still slow going, but he is recovering well enough, not too far behind in comparison to RSG, especially after that slower start. And GX did try first smoke play. RSG is as well lining up here.
Is it going to be up? No, it's not in time. However, they've still got Alacrity with MKS chasing him down, but keep in mind there's no meta available right now. Still Alacrity's in big danger. He's going to drop MKS, trusting the illusions to get the job done. NGXC, they try to rotate to force the fight, but now they might be in danger. XC learns around on the Bat Rider looking for a lasso target. And NGXC, they are trapped in the northern tree line. They don't think they can jump this TB. It's just not safe enough.
They need to be able to isolate the Oracle. Roger just staying well far back this time around. And they know that some of the focus is onto the top, so they're starting to apply some pressure onto the mid, just keeping the lane shoved in and preventing NGX from feeling comfy and farming up. DreamoCell still getting some space out here, but the other cores are kind of tied in just to prevent that aggression. And you have to appreciate that Oracle, like the root coming in lined up that kill.
Absolutely. JoeCam now being picked off here by Zhao Bonbon. A very nice bushwhack there from the Hoodwink, and so you can see the vision game right now from the side of RSG, though it does get denied off, but Zhao Bonbon trapped in the arena. Maybe again can try and buy him a bit of time, as they do have false promise if they want, but Zhao Bonbon gonna go for a run. Here's your ulti now from Roger, but can they actually save him? They go for a TP play out, but DreamoCell wins the bash. There it is. Last hit, he'll get the bash off, and they'll get both supports on the side of RSG.
They're finding some small pickings here on NGX's side. RSG a bit forward with the supports, didn't have the force to back them up this time around, does get punished. We do get a lot of room though. Excellent just clears out bot. Patience in Chrono though.
Yeah, committed. They've got the Zeus around as well. DreamoCell needing that extra damage, and we'll have it in the end. Great Chrono there by DreamoCell, and for XE Learn, quite a bit of gold away to the enemy pos 1 now.
Yeah, that's a big kill. DreamoCell again lining up for those Chronos. Very well played. We did mention that it's a bit harder to use NGX's draft. They are finding the openings. They're finding opportunities to take these kills. However, RSG see that opportunity themselves to go for that Roche, knowing the TPs are down, clearing out that mid-tier 1. They have a lot of time to get this done. Of course, you do have the sidekick from Xiaoyu to speed up this process with MKS's Metamorphosis. And without the threat of Chrono, NGX doesn't have a good fight lined up there. They're going to have to commit Golem if they're even aware, and they don't even have the vision to watch that Roche.
Chances to go down for free, it seems. The only person you can really rely on is the Zeus to pop that ulti and see this happening, but like you mentioned, John, there's really no kind of ideas here from NGXC. Having a free first Roshan to go the way of RSG now. They might just head straight through mid. In fact, never mind, they want to force a fight onto Alacrity, but he will be able to run it out just fine here on the Ember. Still a 2k advantage towards RSG, and GXC, I suppose they are still kind of playing the late game kind of game here with DreamoCell on the Void. Still a lot more time to go for DreamoCell to be at that stage where he does feel like he could just carry the game for his team, but he's still sticking at the top of the net workforce, so still happy days here for DreamoCell.
Yeah, just working the map well. He's been given a lot of space by his team. The only time he shows up is when Chrono's available, and that gives him a lot of time to just kind of play by himself. They almost catch him out. Don't manage to lock him in time. The Ember does find space.
Nice spear out, Nizu. Even gonna drop the Golem just in case. It's worth it that time around. You get the mid Bat Rider, and now you have Golem up so you can try to force in the bot tier 2 tower and maybe get a clip out of this.
Just forcing this aggression up against Aegis and making RSG think twice about trying to get their own push going up top. They don't fully commit. They see the fortify, they back off and just get themselves back to forming on DreamoCell. RSG still clumped up around top. Metamorphosis is still about half a minute off for that push, but they are looking to line up and commit here.
They will. TP's up. Arena is still available. They've got the blink up on Mizu for a great setup here on MKS, who is dropping low. Mizu trying to move in with the Thunder. Is there in time? Into the go after Roger with the bushwhack. Is going to make it, but not enough time to make it for Roger. So the sharpshooter is there, but MKS, he's dropping low now. They'll still have the Aegis up. They are not able to snipe. In fact, Zhao Yu going to make the jump in, but there's your Chrono being committed there by DreamoCell. A nice bushwhack. Zhao Bonbon holding them down, but Zhao Yu is still going to drop. They've got the Aegis down as well. XE learns trying to go for a lasso out onto one. He'll find Jocam. They've got the meta to play with as well. That'll be one down. Dreamer Cell, he's the one to keep the fight going. Reflection is there, Mizu. Not landing the screw on the right target, so Alacrity. He's going to drop it now, Mizu. Going to get rooted up by Roger. Might just drop here with the buyback. Is there Alacrity? He'll jump back in onto the Terror Blade. They'll get the chains out. MKS still alive. False Promise will heal him up as Dreamer Cell. Trying to chase XC Learn, but he's fine as well. Instead, they'll turn onto the TV and get MKS down. But Roger, he's still trying. He does end up going down though, as Mizu might actually drop here to Zhao Bonbon. But NGXC, they will punish. They will take down the Hoodwink. And overall, I believe that was a favorable team fight to go the way of NGXC.
Yeah, they play on the edge on NGX. They're forced to buy back on Larity to get the damage out, but they managed to make it work. They isolate, they stagger out the fight, they ensure that RSG doesn't have the good angles they want, and Mizu was a major part of that fight there. He had a great use from his Essence Ring, stalling out the damage from the TV. Your output on the Terrorblade right now isn't particularly amazing. You just turn on the Bulwark, you take away a lot of that DPS from the TV. You have nothing to soften up the Mars quite yet, you know, nothing like a Scotty yet to really simplify this process, and NGX managed to understand that, work the angle, and just punish. So they're building up really well, they're holding out. We're starting to approach that point where the Void is going to be a constant threat. Like Dream Assault's just building up massively. He's going to have the Lincolns up for protection from the lasso, even protection in his own chrono, right? You're not going to get Fate's Edict up. You're going to have to be conscious about your spell use here on Roger, if he even has the range, as he's still working towards the Aether Lens. And NGX just smoke up again. They have the Golem at the ready for Boomboy. One target out, and they can push an objective.
Be a big team fight here for NGXC if they can make their way in. Mizu, Arena, Blink is up, but a quick back out here by RSG. Gonna mean they aren't gonna get caught out.
Under attack.
Can't even thinking about going for the Thunder God's Wrath here to get the vision, but won't bother. The smoke way too obvious. So instead, they'll try to force the fight in the mid lane. Chrono's up in 5 as well, so they've got every spell available for NGXC. Mizu going, trying to find somebody. They will find Roger. Ace Edict is there immediately to try to keep himself alive. He does have False Promise, but he won't bother popping. Just take the death. With that, NGXC, they'll get some D wards, and they should have a mid-tier 1 tower to go their way.
Not the big kill they were looking for, but still provides them that opportunity to shove in mid. RSG not keen to fight yet. Looks like they will just want to wait more items out. They need MKS to be much more durable than he currently is. Wants that full Scotty before really fully committing. You do have the blink up on Exilern, so you can find the angles for the Batrider. It does feel like RSG has decided to take it slower a bit. 2 supports down bot though.
Gonna move in. Bushwhack is there. Alacrity again getting taken out. And Zhao Bonbon sets up everything into Mizu. Primus, though, he's gonna show up, and Zhao Yu's gonna keep going for the fight. XC learned he has lasso, but he doesn't have a blink up right now. So Dreamer Cell, he can keep moving in. He'll rewind back by MKS. He's gonna move in as well. They have the Thunder up if they need it. Mizu, he's gonna drop. Dreamer Cell needs the chrono. Does pop him, but it's too late. He'll try to run now, but XC learned. He's on the chase. He'll get the lasso off. Right into Jocam. They'll go into the Zeus now, but never mind that. Instead, they'll find Boomboy on the Warlock. In fact, they even found Jocam. Zhao Yu able to get the rebound off to break the gap. That's a full team wipe for RSG. They wanted a chrono for so long, that team fight jump, but they just could not find the one they wanted.
No, it's so difficult for Dream Assault. The successful chronos we've seen are either solo chronos with no one else around, or chronos with Roger +1. You have to catch the Oracle. If you don't see the Oracle, you cannot use your chrono well here. And now they're down some pretty big cooldowns for the high ground defense. No Aegis to play with for MKS. Metamorphosis down for quite some time, but there's no threat of chrono, there's no threat of golem. There is threat of arena, and that's about it. And it just doesn't feel enough to find those kills. Forcing out the fortify, could force out the side of RSG, not really wanting to play against that, but they're buying some good time. They bring the lead back their way here, like 8k up for RSG. MKS top of the net worth board again, and the Scotty's inching closer and closer here for the Terrorblade, 1 part away.
When things get very scary, if you are in GXC, it's always the Eye of Scotty timing here for the TB. The Dream Assault, again, still doing a very good job this game on the Void, but he has gone a bit more of a defensive build with the Lincoln Spear, and but naturally is going to go to the BKB straight after that. So you haven't got the most insane amount of damage in these chronos yet from our Void top lane. Alacrity not again. Jump on bomb with the smoke. Might find him in time, though Zhao Yu not able to dispose, and Jump on bomb not able to find the bushwhack either. Alacrity does get his way out, but it's just been such a rough time for the mid-ember this game, and well, Alacrity, he's just kind of relegated to making space for the team. There's not really much else he can do.
Yeah, just needs to buy time, build up slowly but surely, and maybe hit his Ags timing as well. Once he's got that, you feel pretty good about slipping out from RSG. Their control is a little bit harder to land. Like, we've seen him escape from all these ganks so well. And the Ags is going to complicate that process for RSG. So if he can get the build up. They're also looking at the build up here.
Lasso, they broke the Lincoln shot. They're rooting down. Dreamer Cell, he's not going to have the help. They have nothing to drop. Golem was on cooldown. Poor old Boom Boy, he tried upheaval, but he's gonna drop. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, Jump on Bond chasing down Alacrity. He has remnants available, but hasn't thrown it out yet. And there we go. He does get his way out. But they found the Void, they found the Warlock, and RSG, at least luckily for NGX, John, it's not going to be a fast Roshan time. That's the one positive for this Dive team.
It's a bit longer. I think even if it's a longer timer, they do at least have a little bit more vision by the Roche Pit, so they should be able to fight.
Yeah, one combination from Zhao Yu gets the Zeus down. It's Unleash with the sidekick. It's just so much damage, John. It's kind of stupid watching it, honestly.
Yeah, and you have full basher up for Xiao Yu as well to ensure that these heroes will stay down and he does commit in. NGX, at the least, with the respawns coming up, they will have some good team fight on hand. Chrono and the Golem are ready to go along with the arena, so they just need to work that angle. But again, RSG's just not been giving too many clear angles. Roger stands all the way back, and they're standing around with Exilern.
Nice lane break from Exilern, finding him exactly how he wanted it. The arena sphere is out. Mizu gonna try and turn, but now the lasso is there from Exilern, locking him down with the Starbreaker. Mizu's gonna try and BKB and run out of there, but there's not the meta with the Ice Guard, even Dream himself. Gonna make the jump in. The time dilation that Mizu's still trying to run is eventually gonna get dropped by MKS. And they keep it going. MKS, he does run a little bit low, but you've got the Oracle to heal you up anyway. There's no real reason to back off while the Metamorph is going. So he will stick around. Keep in mind, he also has the Sidekick and the Sunder available. The Dreamer Soul now has Chrono up. You've got some form of an ulti to play with here for the Void, and it seems like RSG might have actually had enough anyway.
They get some good chip damage out. They're not going to force the issue. Dreamer Cell has a good angle here, though. Good flanking.
Jump on Bond. No, he'll go for Zhao Yu instead. Try for the Master. So there's your Unleash committed now. They do chain him up. Zhao Yu still has a BKB available if he needs to. Instead, he'll just rebound out as they just can't lock him down. This is kind of going back to the draft as well, right? Because you've got Warlock Zeus supports. So unless you have a Mars initiation or a proper Ember initiation, chances are you aren't killing anyone.
No, I mean, you're not going to commit Golem for a support. We saw that earlier because they didn't have any other opportunities, but you need to hold on to that now for the bigger team fights, and they're just not fighting. Again, RSG's done a great job here, Mike, just declumping, not giving those opportunities for clean Chronos. They're being very disciplined with how they hold themselves here, how they position themselves, especially in the supports, and they're just clearing out the objectives. Roshan, in about 5 seconds, it will be back up. RSG has a clear objective for the high ground push afterwards.
Go Cam.
Although,
just look at this, guy. Zhao Yu's having the time of his life. It doesn't really matter if the Zeus has Heavenly Jump to be a bit more mobile. Zhao Yu easily catching him out. They might just go high ground again. I mean, why the hell not?
Yeah, it's still risky with the Chrono and Golem, but you're lacking a lot of that magic damage now.
Top lane, Lasso's there, onto the Mars once again. Mizu's just gonna drop. They do find the T3 mid tower, but they're gonna go up top instead. Try to focus the top lane. Keep in mind, Metamorphosis is up in 15 seconds from now.
Oh my god.
Nice disposal. Look at the damage. It's just sickening.
It is. These softer supports, Mike, don't enjoy playing against the Marcy. Very easy to focus down, not much counterplay they can really do. Again, just down to the draft, down to the nature of Zeus and Warlock as supports. Not much counterplay really, unless you drop the Chrono. In and out they go. Chrono still at the ready here if they want to try.
it's like you said earlier, John, you need to catch the Oracle. If you can't catch the Oracle in that chrono, there's just no point. In fact, he's both out again. Into the bushwhack, Alacrity's just gonna drop. And poor old Dreamersault, he doesn't know what he can do about it. Because again, you just can't chrono. You can't commit it right now.
No, you don't have an angle. He needs to find backline. He has no approach angle at all. And just saw his RSG to run. Look, he can just smoke up and back.
Mizu disposed again with the unleashed damage. My god, Mizu, he'll hold the shield up. He does at least get out of the arena. They even pop the Alacrity buyback, but can they get a kill for themselves? MKS, he's wasting thunder. Maybe they can, but no, the false promise is going to be this to MKS. Might die through it now. The chrono has been committed. They'll find Roger, but the bushwhack is out from Zhao Bon. Have they found it? MKS, he is still fighting, still trying, but eventually does go down. A nice pickup by NGXC. Trying for a bit more now. Under Zhao Yu they go. Zhao Bon trying to help out. Does force them to back off with the threat of the bushwhack. But NGXC, they do at least hold the mid-melee barracks. And they've got their bot racks to go. The game's not anywhere near over, but they are 16k behind in terms of network.
And see, this is where the lineup of NGX can shine, though. They hit the point where they've got Zeus, Eggs here, and Mike. They can stall pretty good. Their high ground fight is good if they can find the angle, and they've got the opportunity for Roche. Exelern will be able to scout around. Still has the Blink BKB to play with Lasso, so it might not be the safest Roche, especially since you don't have the Golem and Chrono, and will force NGX to play it safe, but they will go for a smoke play here. They want that Roche on bad.
I mean, it's 20 seconds without the Terrorblade right now, John, so it's a great time to try and jump XE Learn here on the Bat Rider. He does back off at the right moment. If they can make it to the high ground, it'd be great, but wards are down. XE Learn still getting caught out with the spear from Mizu. Eventually she'll drop, but a nice spear keeping 4 staff away. It's going to be enough to get out of now. Zhao Yu, he's trying to force a fight. A 3-man bushwhack from Zhao Bon. Oh, he locks all of them down. They can't get a kill. Dreamersault still trying. They don't have an angle. Now the bushwhack. Zhao Pong is at it again on the Hoodwink. They found the Zeus Jocam. He's going to drop. Roshan's open once again to RSG. And they've got Metamorphosis up in 10 seconds, but they won't fight. They found Alacrity again. Zhao Yu. Zhao Bon. It's all about the Zhaos here, John, as Randy. He's going to try and run. Time walk away. Exilon will take your rewind. They don't kill Randy. He kills himself here, John. He kills himself. He's going to stand his ground. This game's over, I think, though. I don't think they'll call it yet, but you give up this next Roshan, it's going to be a very challenging high ground defense to come.
Oh yeah, no Chrono, no Golem drop at the ready for the high ground. It's going to be a tough one to hold. At least the Golem's going to be up in 20 seconds. You can try to make plays around that. You got to appreciate, even on an individual skill level, how well RSG's playing. You saw Zhao Yu jump in, 3-man, 1 versus 3 fight, dodges out the spear, dances around them, and they couldn't handle him. Like, just with a BKB, he lasts for long enough, and then he just sidesteps an almost melee range spear. How do you do that? It's just maddening how well Zhao Yu's playing here.
Oh, everyone on RSG are playing very well here, John. It's hard to pick a real MVP this game number 2. That's for sure. Like, I'm currently leaning towards Zhao Bon or the Bat Rider XE Learn, quite frankly. But like you mentioned, Zhao Yu, he's been a real menace this game as well, setting up everything for the team. It's all about the Zhao for RSG, apparently, as NGXC. Well, they're going to try and defend that final lane of barracks. It's so tough as now the dispose is there again from Zhao Yu. Onto Jocam. He's haunting this Zeus. He's haunting him. Nizu's going to BKB and run, but the bot racks is just going to drop for free. They have Chrono off. They're going to try and use it, I think, as Dreamersault. He jumps in, but it's only a time dilation. And TS has the double damage going, though. Hands up. Age is still up as well. NGX, I don't know how they played this one. Lasso's there. Exilon's in. All is going to be dropped. Maybe they cut the Chrono now. Arena dropped as well. MKS. He should drop the first life and does. Meanwhile, where's this Chrono? Dreamersault, he's waiting. As XE low does go down, but Zhao Yu back in onto Jokam again. Save the Zeus for God's sakes. Zhao Yu, he'll jump out of there. He'll leave MKS alone. But MKS, he's the one on the run now, and Zhao Yu does drop to Alacrity. Maybe they can clean up on NGXC. They're trying. MKS, he's the big target, but he has Sunder up here, John. He'll commit it. Onto Mizu is bringing himself, still chasing, has Chrono. If he does need it, but he probably doesn't. MKS should go down this time around. As Dreamer Cell still going after him, but they've got the TV trapped up. They'll clean up here in GXC. Only problem is now they are up against Megas. So how do you come back from this?
Well, you know, it's Zeus, it's Faces Void, it's Ember. They have wave clear with these heroes. They can hold high ground. They can force these fights. It is still a tough game. Oh?
Look at this, John. Zhao Bonbon. Is he about to do something very pog? He doesn't have sharpshooter.
Detection. Detection.
They have a Zeus, John. They have a Zeus. What?
They don't know. They're not just going to randomly zap there. They have no idea he's there. He just stands there. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, they give it the Chrono. All right. I mean, it's something, I guess. Chrono, it's down for another 2 minutes, though.
It's a pretty long cooldown now. You don't have the Ags upgrade path to lower it, so it is some time without team fight, and it's a lot of time where RSG is lacking a few heroes here for the defense. Might have to surrender a tier 2. I don't see high ground really coming out here, and they at least have Excellent to try to make some plays. Aeon Disc off cooldown could try to be aggressive. NGXO respects the respawns, do back off. They know they're still in a very tight spot in this game. Everything gone from their high ground except the tier 4s, and just hanging on up against the mega creeps. RSG is still in a really strong position, but do have to respect that team fight here.
Oh, he's got the Fake Grenade to keep the vision up. So he does actually avoid that Fake Grenade. The Lincolns is broken, and that was actually Lasso breaking the Lincolns. I don't think Epsilon realized that with the Time Walk it does displace the Fake Grenade, so it doesn't break the Lincolns. They'll jump in. Zhao Yu will try, but he's been stunned up. Old Promise though will give him another chance to life. They do move in on the Dreamer Cell. They've got the boy locked down. He's down with that buyback. And the problem is, John, you know Chrono's down. RSG, they don't have the freest team fight they've ever had. They'll go in onto the Mars now. No escaping from Mizu, surely. They've got the Fake Grenade vision. That'll be another. Is there going to be a GG call coming? Surely.
Yeah, I don't see how you hold without Chrono, without the Golem. You can buy back in Mars. You can maybe try to make a play. No arena for a minute, though. Mizu can't do much. Maybe a good spear back, but it's asking a lot from the Ember and Mars to hold on here.
Here we go. Before Towers, Zhao Yu again setting up on the Mars here. Oh, Mizu. They've had enough. But I think the lesson learned here against RSG is don't give them these kinds of picks, especially this Marcy. It's just too strong, and Zhao Yu, he plays it too well. It's not fair watching these kind of games with Zhao Yu playing Marcy.
Yeah, I mean, you point